please rise for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We'll do a roll call. Say your name, Mr. Galansky. Ronald Mills.
Derek Benavides.
Frank Orozco.
Erica, we have a quorum. We can begin. Francisca.
Notice of a public meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Brownsville pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code. The Texas Open Meeting Act notice is hereby given that the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, has scheduled a regular meeting on Monday, July 8th, 2019, at 5:30 p.m. in the Commission chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall Old Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas, 78520. 1, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting on April 4th, 2019.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
I have a motion for Frank, second for Mr. Galansky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting on May 2nd, 2019.
I so move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Galansky,
I'll second.
second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Public hearings, item number 3, public hearing in action, Canyon Valley Subdivision replat, amending plat.
Good evening.
Good evening. Not working? There we go.
Okay. This amending plat is located off Old Port Isabel Road. It's 5.17 acres and 25 commercial lots. We do find it complete. That is the wrong view. Excuse me. It's this one.
All right.
Motion to file complete.
I have a motion to find complete and a second by Mr. Galansky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4, public hearing in action, and Naranja Subdivision, section
9.
9, final plat.
This is the 9th section of the subdivision. It's located near Mars Avenue. It's 7.725 acres. Will consist of 42 residential lots. We do find it incomplete. It's missing the items on the screen.
Motion to find incomplete.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to find incomplete. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 5, public hearing in action, Peralta Subdivision Plan Development.
This is a planned development. It will be located near Southmost Boulevard. It's 4.83 acres. A total of 28 lots are currently proposed. It's a mix of commercial, duplex, and townhouse lots. We do find it incomplete. It's missing items on the screen.
Motion to find incomplete.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item number 6, public hearing in action, Paseo Residencial Subdivision Master Plan.
This is located near Robindale Road. It's 88.62 acres. Will be 327 residential lots. We do find it incomplete. It's missing the items on the screen.
Motion to find incomplete.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to find incomplete. All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 7, public hearing in action on ordinance number 2019-235.91 and ordinance amending existing boundaries within the O31 non-residential overlay district and dealing with related matters.
This is a city-initiated case to amend the boundaries. We're asking to remove the O31 from this area. The O31 is a non-residential overlay district. The area has various zonings. We do have a zoning map we'll show you. And it's bordered by Boca Chica, Old Port Isabel, Robin Hood, and Kings Highway. As a reminder, the O31 non-residential overlay prohibits dwelling units, group quarters, recreational vehicle parks, medical inpatient facilities, schools, churches, daycares, medical clinics, auditoriums, and stadiums. Here's the area we're looking at. This is part of the Town Corridor and Central Core District in our future land use plan. The Town Corridor is primarily residential with small clusters of commercial land uses at regularly spaced intervals, and the residential uses should have a density of 3 dwelling units an acre and primarily single-family dwellings. The Central Core District commercial uses should be neighborhood and service oriented with some light industrial that is compatible with close proximity to residences. And the residential uses should be primarily single family with an average density of 3 dwelling units an acre. So here is the aerial. So as a point of reference, right here is the Walmart. So this entire area marked in red currently has this overlay. So there were 120 mailouts and 0 written opposition, and staff supports this proposed amendment to the existing 031 non-residential overlay boundaries.
So basically, all those empty fields behind Walmart would be
Yeah.
allowed to be built on finally, is what this comes down to.
Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. Anybody have any questions or comments on this particular case?
Motion to close public hearing?
Have a motion and a second from Mr. G to close. All in favor?
Aye.
Action.
Real quick, Francisco.
Yes.
The individual lots, are they, because of the overlay, are they not zoned residential currently, or do they fall into some type of, I don't know, light industrial or something like that?
They're zoned light retail. This-
Okay, so most of those people, if they wanted to build a
Would have already
dwelling
done
on
so,
it, they
yeah.
might, well, know if they're already in.
So this wouldn't change their use district or their area district. So it's light retail F, this whole area right here. So if they wanted to have apartments and they wanted to have a higher density than 8.5 units an acre, they would have to rezone, at which time all of the neighbors will be notified
Right.
Yeah.
and they'd come back here.
Okay.
But it can be rezoned to
Yes.
the special use.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's
Uh-huh.
correct.
This is removing a barrier.
Okay. Perfect. Action.
Make a motion to approve?
Have a motion from Frank, second from Mr. G. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 8, public hearing and action on ordinance number 235, 2019, 015S, to allow an apartment use in general retail H for the rear 39 feet of Lot 14, Block 58, original town site of the City of Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas, located at 409 East 13th Street, Brownsville, Texas, 78520.
This property is 1.02 acres. It's currently zoned light retail A, 2CA, and they're requesting it to rezone to general retail G, 4CG.
I think she called out number 8, and it talks about allowing an apartment. I think it's a different.
Excuse me. That one is removed from the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead. Number 9, Erica.
Item number 9, public hearing and action on ordinance number 235, 2019, 026, to rezone from light retail G to general retail G for Lot 1, Block 1, Aaron's Addition, Cameron County, Texas, located at 2635 Boca Chica Boulevard, Brownsville, Texas, 78521.
Okay, this property is 1.02 of an acres. It's currently zoned light retail A, 2CA, and they're requesting to rezone to general retail G, 4CG. It's near the intersection of OPI, Old Port Isabel, and Boca Chica, off Renfro. So excuse me, I got it backwards. This one is at the intersection of Old Port Isabel and Boca Chica. So there's currently the Bank of America there. Okay. So here's the zoning map. The property currently has a specific use permit for the purpose of the bank. At this time, they're looking to expand their parking lot. The next case is for the expansion of the parking lot. So because there's been some rezonings in the area, and there is general retail on this side of Boca Chica, this side of Boca Chica, and some over there, as well as some light industrial along Boca Chica. They are, instead of getting another specific use permit, they are requesting to rezone to general retail.
Where would that expansion,
Toward the errands behind it or something? Or
It's
what?
for right here,
Oh, okay.
which they don't look like they intersect too much, but they do have enough connection there.
Okay.
right behind that smoke shop?
Mhm.
Got it. And it's zoned currently,
It's currently zoned light retail 2C with a specific use permit for general retail.
And what's there right now?
The bank.
A bank, Bank of America.
You're gonna
No, no,
leave it a
but
bank.
on that lot that they're looking at rezoning?
That's the next case.
Oh, okay, I got you.
We're gonna give them permission
Got it,
first.
yeah.
All right, continue, Francesca.
This is in the town corridor in our future land use map, which is primarily residential with small clusters of commercial land uses at regularly spaced intervals. Here's the aerial where you can see the Bank of America there. So to the north, there are commercial businesses and single-family dwelling. To the east, restaurant and commercial plazas. To the south, single-family dwelling, civic institutions, and commercial business. And to the west, there are single-family dwelling and commercial business. Here's what it looks like. Here's the 200-foot radius map. There were 22 mailouts and 0 written opposition. So staff supports this rezoning from light retail G to CG to general retail G for CG.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. Anybody any questions or comments?
Make a motion to close public comment?
Second,
We have a motion and a second to close comment. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Action?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion from Frank and a second from Mr. G. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 10, public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2019-027 to rezone from dwelling A to general retail G for 0.42 acres out of Lot 13, Block 1, Renfro Terrace addition of Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas, located near Renfro Boulevard, Brownsville, Texas 78521.
So this is the parking lot. It's 0.42 acres. It's currently zoned dwelling A. They're requesting to rezone to general retail G for CG. Here's the zoning map. To the north of the property, it is zoned dwelling with a specific use permit for apartments. To the south, along Boca Chica, there is general retail, 4th commercial, as well as light industrial, 7th commercial. This is also part of the town corridor in our future land use plan, which is primarily residential with small clusters of commercial land uses at regularly spaced intervals. Here's the property. There are single-family dwelling and apartments to the north. To the east, restaurants, commercial businesses. To the south, single-family dwelling, civic institution, and commercial businesses. And to the west, single-family dwelling and commercial business. Here's what it looked like. I think it's vacant now. Let's Google. Here's the 200-foot radius map. There were 20 mailouts and 0 written opposition, and staff supports this rezoning from dwelling A, DA, to general retail G, 4CG, with a conditional overlay to require the following on the north property line: a 6-foot or taller screening fence, and a 5-foot or larger vegetation buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. Any questions or comments?
I move to close public hearing.
Have a motion to close?
Second,
Have a second. All in favor?
aye.
Do we have
Action.
any concerns about the fact that the parking lot's gonna exit out to Renfro?
We did verify that with the engineering department and the traffic department, and they are fine. They actually think it might help alleviate some traffic.
But I think it will alleviate,
Yeah,
because it'll be better now.
Now everybody's stuck going in
There was
everywhere.
very,
Yeah, it was an initial concern, so we did ask the experts and got their
Okay.
opinion
it'll
on that.
alleviate it better now.
Action?
Motion to approve?
I'll s-
Have a motion and a second from Derek and Mr. G. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, Eric.
Item number 11, public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2019-028 to rezone from dwelling A to dwelling G for Lot 19, Block 1, West Banker Place Addition, Cameron County, Texas, located at 305 Boca Chica Boulevard, Brownsville, Texas 78520.
This property is 0.1607 of an acre. It's currently zoned dwelling A, DA, and they're requesting to change it to DG, dwelling G, with the proposed use of a duplex. This is located at the intersection of Hawthorne Avenue and Boca Chica. Here's the zoning map. Along Boca Chica, there are some commercial uses as well as apartment. North in this neighborhood, it's mostly dwelling with some apartment use as well as general retail over at the intersection of Honeydale and Hawthorne. Across along Boca Chica, there is some apartments as well as light retail specific use. This is part of the Loop Corridor in our future land use plan. The Loop Corridor is a healthy mixture of residential, institutional, industrial, and community facility land uses. There's also a high degree of flexibility allowed in the land use types, especially for commercial and residential uses. The residential uses should have a density of 4 dwelling units an acre and primarily consist of single-family dwelling and attached apartment houses. Here's the aerial. In all directions, there are single-family dwelling. Also to the east, there's some commercial businesses. So this land has actually been cleared. There's no longer a home there. It's vacant. But this is what it looks like from Hawthorne, from the intersection of Hawthorne and Boca Chica, and from Boca Chica. Here's the 200-foot radius for the mailouts. There were 23 mailouts and 0 written opposition, and staff supports this rezoning from dwelling A, DA to dwelling G, DG with the conditional overlay requiring the following. The property will be limited to 1 driveway off East Hawthorne Avenue. The property will not have a driveway off Boca Chica Boulevard, and the property will have single-family residential character. We have met with the owner about this, and they're in agreement with it.
Okay.
I so move to close the public
We
hearing.
haven't opened it yet, hang on.
Hold on.
All right, anybody here for this?
Single-family residential character, but yet will be used as a duplex.
Yes, so it won't be, when you think of a duplex, you might think of 2 garages and 2 main doors. When we say single-family residential character, we're meaning it'll have the appearance of a single-family home, not a 2-family home.
Understand.
So there will be side access for the secondary unit.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public
So
hearing.
Ken, is the point of putting that in to make it look as a single-family home is, you know that it's going to be a double-family.
Well, I think it makes
Looking
the
at-
aesthetic of the community remain the same,
Yeah.
so.
The aesthetic of that community over there is a mixture of everything from Boca Chica.
So along Hawthorne, much of it is single-family, and it has been redeveloping. We just want to support the neighborhood and keep the consistency of a single-family appearing structure.
That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. Anybody any questions or comments on this property? Now you can make a question.
Motion to close public comment?
All right, now a
Mr.
motion
G.
to move.
Mr. G seconds.
Mr. G seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Action.
I'll make a motion to approve, subject to staff's recommendation.
With the conditional overlay. We have
With
a
the conditional
motion to approve with the conditional overlay. Mr. G, you agree? That's your second, Mr. G? Yes. Was a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 12, public hearing and action on ordinance number 235, 2019, 029, to rezone from medium retail A to general retail A for Lot 36, Block 1, Silver Oak Subdivision, Cameron County, Texas, located at 975 West Ruben Torres Senior Boulevard, Brownsville, Texas, 78521.
So this property is .4161 of an acre. It's currently zoned medium, medium retail A, 3CA, and they're requesting to rezone to general retail A, 4CA. This is along West Ruben M. Torres, near the intersection of Laredo, and they are proposing to have a wet restaurant. So here's the aerial, the zoning. It's this one right here. So it's currently zoned medium retail 3CA, as well as next to it is medium retail 3CA. However, this property was rezoned from medium retail to fourth commercial very recently. This is developed as a commercial area now. The specific use permit that you see there was never used. Instead, we have single-family homes and this low retail use. Across Ruben M. Torres, we have some general retail. And over here on this corner, Very recently, we had it approved for apartment H, so I'm just going to color this in apartment here. Very recently, we haven't updated the map. This is part of the town corridor in our future land use plan. The town corridor is primarily residential with small clusters of commercial land uses at regularly spaced intervals. So here's the aerial. This isn't completely representative. We'll have a better picture in a moment. To the north, there's undeveloped land, civic institution, and apartments. To the east, there's single-family dwelling and commercial business. To the south, there's single-family dwelling, and to the west, commercial business and undeveloped land. So this is more what it looks like. And over here, there's another plaza over here. Here's the 200-foot radius map. There were 24 mailouts and 0 written opposition, and staff supports this rezoning from medium retail A, 3CA, to general retail A, 4CA.
Why do they need to
They are looking to open a restaurant.
and
which
they don't have restaurants in medium?
They do allow it, however, they're looking to also serve alcohol.
Okay.
So general retail allows a wet restaurant, a restaurant that serves alcohol. It does not allow bars.
Okay.
So a bar would not be able to open in general retail without getting a conditional use permit
Okay.
at this location.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is public hearing. Any questions or comments on this property?
Motion to close public hearing?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Action.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion from Derek, second from Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number
Item
13.
number 13, public hearing and action on ordinance number 235, 2019-030, to rezone from dwelling A to dwelling G for Lot 35, Block 50, East Brownsville Addition, Cameron County, located at 3475 East 27th Street, Brownsville, Texas 78521.
So this property is 0.1377 of an acre. It's currently zoned dwelling A, and they're requesting it to be rezoned to dwelling G, DG. The purpose is a duplex, and it's fronting East 27th Street. So here is the zoning map. You can see most of the area is dwelling, but there are also general retail and apartment uses mixed in. And right here is dwelling G. This is part of the East Core District in our future land use plan, which is primarily residential with large amounts of community facilities as well. The residential uses should have an average density of 3 dwelling units an acre and consist of single-family homes. Here's aerial of the neighborhood. So in all directions, you'll find single-family dwellings. Here's the 200-foot radius map. Here's a view.
So the idea is to remove that structure and put a duplex there?
I'm not sure if it's removed.
Okay.
There were 31 mailouts and 0 written opposition, and staff supports this rezoning from dwelling A, DA, to dwelling G, DG, with the purpose of building a duplex.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. Anybody have any questions or comments on this property?
I have a question. If there is a building out there, can you,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
if there is a building on that property, can they build one next to it?
When you
So a duplex needs to be the same structure. So it needs to be one structure
Add
with
it
2
on-
separate
add it
units.
So they wouldn't be able to add a second one next to it. They'd have to have one structure. Could they
They-
convert that little building into a duplex?
If they could fit it.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
Or they could move it and,
Well, either, no,
Add
yeah.
onto it, yeah,
Sure.
or add onto it, yeah.
Are you here for that project, sir?
Yes, he's here for that one. He's the
Please, if you
applicant.
want to come up and address us, please do so. Good, state your name, sir.
Buenas tardes.
Hey.
Pues la idea ahí es mejorar un poquito ahí la zona. Traigo fotos, no sé si las puedo enseñar, de cómo está el área y lo que hay enfrente y eso.
Could you speak a little louder in the microphone, por favor?
No, hablo no inglés.
All right, so we'll translate. No,
Ahora sí iba a pasar ya conmigo, porque le dejaban hablar.
she's translating for him, so we'll let her.
Yeah, that's fine.
No sabe. Perdón.
No, yo, perdón, porque no sabía.
No.
She said it was okay, we're going to talk in Spanish, it's okay. Hi.
Well, no, I think it's good to translate
Okay.
for the record.
Hi, my name is Jessica Barrientos, I'll be just translating. He wants to make a duplex,
Mhm.
and he has pictures of everything that is just surrounded by that area, which there is other duplexes there, and there are abandoned homes.
I guess the basic question we have, where he doesn't have to go into dissertation, is he wanting to tear down the existing building and build a duplex, or is he going to modify the one that's there?
No. No.
It's just a lot by itself.
Oh, it's a lot right now,
It's a
there's no
lot by
house there.
itself. It's
Okay,
ready
that's
to
fine.
build.
That was the
Uh-huh.
question we had, so. Did
Okay.
anybody else have any questions? Mr. G?
No estamos opuestos a que haga el duplex. Nomás preguntamos si hay una casa vieja ahí o algo.
No, está bien.
Está limpio.
No, está bien, no.
It's
Está perfecto, gracias.
Gracias.
Good luck. Buena suerte.
All right, anybody else?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second?
I have a motion and a second from Mr. G and Derek. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to
Motion.
approve?
Second.
I have a motion from Frank and a second from Derek. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 14, public hearing and action on ordinance number 235, 2019, 031S, to allow a duplex, a dwelling use in light industrial J for Lot 12, Block 43A, Stillman Addition, Cameron County, Texas, located at 221 West St. Francis Street, Brownsville, Texas, 78520.
This property is .2755 of an acre. It's zone light industrial J, 7CJ, and they're requesting to allow a duplex. And it's at the intersection of West 2nd and West St. Francis. So here is the zoning. As you can see, a lot of this area is a mix of industrial. The brown is light industrial, and the gray to the east, the southeast, is going to be medium industrial. However, on the other side, kitty corner, it is apartment zoning, the green. So this is part of the downtown node in our future land use plan, where commercial land uses are the most dominant, and residential, community facilities, and institutional uses are also present. No industrial land uses should be allowed in the downtown node. The average density of residential land uses should be 21 dwelling units an acre, and represents primarily urban and attached residential forms. So here is the property in question. So to the north, directly to the north, is a two-family dwelling. There's also single-family dwellings and apartments and civic institutions. To the east, there's single-family dwellings. To the south as well. To the west, single-family dwellings, apartments, and commercial businesses. So here is the site plan that they're proposing. This name is incorrect. Second.
Should be second, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're getting an updated one.
that's fine. Okay,
Here's the 200-foot radius map. And here's what it looks like. It's vacant. And that is a duplex that you see. There were 35 mailouts and 0 written opposition, and staff supports a specific use permit to allow a duplex dwelling use in light industrial J, 7CJ.
ladies and gentlemen, it's a public hearing. Any questions on this property?
I just move to close.
Have a motion to close from Mr. G,
Second.
second from Derek. All in favor?
Aye.
How come we're not just redoing the zoning there? Is there any, like,
We
we're
don't
allowing
want,
dwelling use in a light industrial, and that's the only lot in between a bunch of homes? Is there a reason to keep the light industrial?
so the area is industrial from back when the railroad was used in the area. Duplexes, the duplex to the north, used to be allowed in commercial categories and not in residential, which is why you'll see them. These commercial categories also will allow the apartments. So they could have a single-family home, they could have multifamily, more than 3 or more units, but they could not have a duplex without a specific use permit.
I guess my question is, why not just go straight to it?
That would be spot on.
I think that's a valid question. I think that what we're going to be doing with some of our zoning initiatives and code rewrite is kind of looking at some of these areas. Should there be more of a consistency along a corridor? You know, historically, what has happened? And so that's probably going to be the initiative that we're going to be embarking on with Reeds and Nichols, with, you know, really seeing, do our corridors allow for everything? You know, what should their main land use be, and what's really the most compatible use with those land uses? So although in this case, you know, we're dealing with what it is now, that's something that the planning department will be looking at in the near future.
That whole area there that was industrial, but now you see trucks cannot go in that many to